Good evening. It is 6:05, June 23rd, 2022. I hereby call this Board of Trustees meeting for the Plainview ISD District to order. Thank everyone that is here in attendance. We have established a quorum. Board member Ms. Joanne Ray and Board member Ms. Silva de la Garza will not be attending today's meeting. This evening, one of our own is titled, at this moment, will be Deacon Manuel Marin will lead us in the invocation. And we also have special guests that will come up and do the pledge here in a little bit.
So bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the blessings you have given us in our life. We thank you for all our brothers and sisters that are gathered here and then within this community. We ask that you bless them. We also thank you for your Son that you have sent to us and through his gift that he has given us in life. We ask that you guide this board and this district so that we may continue to make those decisions that we need to make for our students and for this community. We ask this in your Son's name, who lives and reigns with you in unity with the Holy Spirit, God forever and ever. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, sir. And if you will, we did this last board meeting, but I'd like to do another moment of silence for Uvalde ISD. You join us. Thank you very much, and let's continue to keep the students, staff, the parents of Uvalde ISD. At this time, we're going to ask some of our own as well, some of our students from our district that are involved with the Girl Scouts. We have asked them to come and lead us in the pledge this evening. You want to let us know what troop this is?
So we have 3 of the 4 Girl Scout troops in here in Plainview, Texas. We have Troop 6151, Troop 6036, and Troop 6011.
Guys, can we get y'all up front to get a picture? Y'all come on up.
And we have one Boy Scout. All right, he's a trooper.
We get the unlike that on the bottom row.
We approved the easement. Just need to sign it. And then Rosie.
All right. Thank you, Morales. Thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. I don't think they're going to stick around. They say it's summer. They don't want to do nothing with school. So.
Can't believe that.
citizen comments? No citizen comments at this time, okay.
Do you have anybody for the public hearing? Okay, all right, so the public hearing is closed.
Okay. Thanks, Sanchez.
Yes, sir. All right, we have a presentation, and this is a construction update. I know that folks have been by the campuses, and they change not by the day, but many cases, they change by the hour. So I'm gonna step up front, and I'll go through the presentation. As you see the pictures and as you have questions, we are very fortunate. We have Park Hill architects and representatives from Park Hill, Mr. Baker and others, and then we have representatives from Lee Lewis. And then for our local construction projects, of course, Charles wants the hard questions for those. So I'll go up front. So what Ivan did on this one, instead of having just a myriad of slides, he combined them onto one. So this is Central Elementary. You can see the two wings. The two-story wing, of course, is on the bottom with the red brick and the white block on the bottom. You see the entryway. What's exciting about the entryway is we have doors and we have the glass, and you can also see that the concrete is done in the front. It wasn't too long ago that that was all dirt, and I was kind of nervous, but like I said, it changes by the hour. You can see the inside of Central. Up on the top, you'll see a classroom. You see the millwork. You can see the whiteboards, the windows, the polished floor. Of course, the design was, I call it the Starbucks look. So you can see the Starbucks look with the exposed features up on top, the lighting. One of the things that we stated over and over and over is there was no need to bring the old furniture from the old buildings into the new buildings because there is plenty of millwork. And we received people saying, no, I'm going to need my shelf. I need my shelf because there's not going to be enough shelving. As you can see, there's quite a bit of shelving. As a matter of fact, you'll see the standalone shelf in the back. It's almost like a armoire for teachers where they can hang a coat, hang a jacket, put their items, lock it. You can see there are plugs all along the wall. You can see the hallway. You can see the staircase on the let's see, right here, you'll see the staircase in the back. They did fix the light. It was kind of crooked, but they fixed it. Again, you can see that enters into the stage area. The doors are hung on the inside. Here's the reception area. The reception area will have it'll have a ceiling right here. So as you walk into the reception area, that is the secure safety vestibule, and I'll turn it over to Park Hill and Lee Lewis to talk about some of the safety features there. If you know what our current nurses' rooms look like, that's the new nurses' room. The makerspace, that is a very impressive feature. That is a 21st century learning feature. You can see the sinks. We'll have a kill. Here's another look at a different classroom. Again, the millwork. This is the outside makerspace. Since it's a two-story building, you have a makerspace on the bottom floor. You have one on the second. I think this is, I know it's taller than me, so it has to be somewhere around 6 feet up, so no one's gonna like jump over the top of the thing. So that's the exterior makerspace, so you can see where you would go out the door. And then there's a conference room, so you could see where you could put a professional library, different materials. Again, there's a board. Plug in the center of the floor for technology connections. You can see all the tile is going in the kitchen. Principal's office is getting completed. The gymnasium doesn't have any lighting, but you can see they're close to getting that painted. And then here's another one of the maker spaces. This is north. For those that were like me who are a little nervous about north, you can see that we're catching up. You can see the front entryway has been cemented. Of course, that's the artful overhang. The doors are there with glass. You can see some of the security features are already being installed. Key card swipe in. This is the entryway here at North. You could see the gym at Central hadn't been painted. This is what it'll look like because they're identical. This is the gym at north. They were painting on Sunday. I went by there on Sunday, and it was Sunday after church, and they were painting away, playing Borracho de Besos and painting away. It was great. It's like, I know that song. Let's see, you can see the classrooms again, a lot of millwork was already laid down. Ivan took these today, so you can see the cement is still wet on the driveway coming up too. There's the dining stage area. This is kind of the storefront on the maker spaces. So in the central maker space, it looked like it was wide open. You're like, well, how are you going to do something there? It's so wide open. But you can see it's actually glass, and so you can look into the maker space, and you can see the doors. South, you can see that there's some progress there at South. Not a whole lot more as this project has just begun. This is Plainview Junior High. You can see that this is the science wing right here. And then on this side, I believe that is by the gym. So you can see the science hallway. It's already polished. You can see they have the trim, principal's office. That was a change order to, make the principal's office functional because it wasn't functional. I think there were 1, 2, 3 doors into the principal's office with big gaps, and so there was no way to have a conversation with anyone or a parent in there. See, the science rooms are set up, millwork's up in the science rooms, doors. This leads out to the courtyard, and that's the courtyard. So that used to be where the portables were. Portables and mulberry trees were there. Now you can see the outdoor seating, you can see the drains. This is the band hall. We're still waiting on the cabinetry. We had ordered cabinetry for the band hall. We ended up moving that cabinetry over to the intermediate band hall and ordered new cabinetry for this one. So it should be coming in. That is the junior high gym floor. That's the main gym. They just put it down. Of course, it needs, all of the varnish and logoing and sealing and all, but it kind of gives you an idea of what that looks like. I mean, our kids in Plainview haven't had a junior high gym like this. I mean, they play on the one with a plastic floor. I mean, that's the real deal. You can see the locker room here. This is one of our other projects. This is not a bond-funded project. This is Poor Ivan. This is the last picture the drone took before the wind caught it and the drone went down in a blaze of glory. So this is its last photo. He's really sad. We'll order him another one. But this shows you the baseball field, of course, logo. That's the drive that was poured behind the junior high. Again, that's the old gym, that's the new gym, that's the band hall, and then the connection with training rooms and office space to the field house. These are the batting cages, outdoor batting cages. You can see the dugouts. This is the outdoor covered batting cage. There's the dugout, district logo. This is a concession, bathroom, entryway here. It'll double up for baseball as well as visitor side for football. There's another look at the batting cage. There's a look at the field. We have it on good authority from Coach Bill that we will have the premier baseball facility in West Texas when this thing is done, and it's very close to being done. This is the high school. If you had been through the courtyard, you'll remember how horrible those old windows looked with the asbestos glue and the putty, the single panes. You can see the windows are going in now. These are the aluminum framed windows. So they're working on that project right now. We do have some plywood on it as they are waiting for the trim to come in, the rubber seal that holds the windows in. This is the new gym floor, and that gym floor looks amazing. You can see the lettering for Danny Wren. We did kind of a small workaround just to honor him, which was a sticker last time. This is actually painted on the wood, and it's sealed in. The same bulldog that is on our football field, softball field, baseball field is there in the gym. It'll also be the same bulldog that is on the junior high floor. Again, district logo. This is, of course, the auditorium. You can see where we are in the teardown process there. And so I'll turn it over to Park Hill and Lee Lewis to talk about timelines with Central and talk about timelines with North. And then if you have any questions about the auditorium project, gym project, or any of the baseball fields, sport fields, Charles can answer those questions. Windows as well. board, I will turn it over to y'all, and then Lee Lewis will be available to, and Parker will be available to answer questions.
Board, any questions? It's time to ask at this time.
So I do have just a couple, we looked at front end of Central and South, so what are we looking as far as, I know that we've talked about ballistic windows and safety protocols. At this point, the picture we're looking at here, what in addition have we added, or have we added any ballistic windows, ballistic proofing? in those
Yes,
windows?
I can answer that. We went through quite a conversation with the stakeholders and all of our architects and engineers as we were designing these schools. And so we do have a level 1 ballistic glazing when you come in. The first set of glass doors is not ballistic rated, but the glass between the secure vestibule and the reception area and the doors is all ballistic rated. And then the glazing from the entry vestibule going into the corridor is all ballistic rated, level 1 ballistic rating. The exit doors around the perimeter where we'll put glass sometimes in those just for being able to see what's going on out those. Those are also level 1 ballistic glazing as well.
Thank you.
And on top of that, Carl, I think that part of an extra procurement we had done, all the other doors that are entry doors, we went with a vendor that has a film that is bullet resistant, and
Same thing, it's a level 1 also.
Yeah.
it's a level 1, so.
Yes, at intermediate and junior high, we have put that on all of our entry.
The building that we'll need to get a quote on and bring it back to y'all in the future, and it would have to be a fund balance project, would be the high school, because there's glass everywhere on the exterior, and back when glass was in style, glass was what was put on it. So we'll have to go back through, after we get these projects going, that'll be something we'll bring to y'all. Estacado, or the junior high and intermediate are also situated similarly, is my understanding.
Yes. Yeah, the secure vestibules are the same idea in those as well, where the interior set of doors going into the school are ballistic rated, and then the wall from that entry vestibule into the reception areas will be ballistic level 1 bullet resistance.
Another benefit of all of these is there's a bathroom in that vestibule area. So if somebody comes in and goes, well, I need to use a bathroom, they don't gain access by asking that question. There's a bathroom right there, you're free to use it, instead of being buzzed in and then disappearing through the campus. So that was part of the thought in the design.
So that secure vestibule now will be at all 3 elementaries. We have that, and then the junior high, the intermediate. High school still maybe.
Yeah, we still have work to do there.
Yeah.
Okay. And Ash would need some work at some point,
That
I'm assuming.
I think like Dr. Sanchez said would be like a fund balance, because we didn't
Right.
work on that particular
Right,
project.
right,
But
right.
we can
But that-
certainly give you specs and all that for that material.
And Ash does have a pretty good system where you can't get in unless you're buzzed in. But, I mean, I hate saying this out in public, but it like the high school, would have to be, like I said, a fund balance project to get the same film on those exterior doors.
On the security note, one thing I noticed at Central, the stairs that go up, what, is there a gate then at the bottom of those stairs and then at the top too to come into that outside makerspace learning?
Are you talking about, this is at Central, the
Yes.
patio
Yes.
outside? I think that door is ballistic rated as well. Now, I'm not sure about a gate down at the bottom of it, but they wouldn't be able to get in through that door.
But they could, so then there's,
Okay.
it looks like from the picture, I don't know if we can go back.
You want to go back?
There may be a gate on, I know
It looks
that the
like maybe
railings
there's
and.
a gate there.
There is a gate at the top of that
Okay.
mezzanine on the second floor level.
Okay.
Before you enter the mezzanine, it
frame, we were talking about north, is that the one we fell behind a little, or?
Yes, and I'll ask Jason with Lee Lewis to come up here in a little bit. One thing I wanted to just say is we've kind of been watching this all along from the very beginning. This project started out. Probably one of the last times it rained, it filled up that 3.5-foot hole out there on that site. And so they've been kind of battling that schedule ever since, trying to catch up. And so, about 18 months ago, we went through the CMAR selection process. We selected that for, and recommended that. You selected it for a very good reason. And I think that's what is really going to ensure the success of completing these buildings as we move towards the start of school. We selected the construction managers based on their qualifications. You established as a board what those qualifications were. And I think that decision has really paid off because you do have one of the best that we can possibly have on these projects. The resources that they've been able to reach out to and add staff and keep more than 100 people on that project at any one time is pretty remarkable, and has been key to the success of making up that ground. And Lee Lewis has gone through these types of things before. They're a very big company, so they really do understand what it takes to deliver a finished product. And with that, I'll let Jason come up here and he has a time frame of when certain rooms are going to be painted, when tile is going to be finished, the status of the plumbing fixtures in the schools, the security systems and things like that. We talked about back in April, the things that we needed to be the priority are the security systems, life safety systems, fire alarms, smoke detection, fire sprinkler, the hardware, the access control hardware. All of those things had to be in place. Health, safety, and welfare are the things that we as architects are tasked with. And those are the things that we asked Lee Lewis to really concentrate on. Not saying that they couldn't, pay attention to the other finishes and systems in the school, HVAC, things like that. And so everything else has really made great progress. I've been really pleased. I drove by the North Elementary campus before I came in here today. And just between 2 weeks ago and today, just seeing that glass in the front of that is very comforting. The concrete pour out front is, they're making a lot of progress fast, and the crews are bringing in are not recent hires. They're seasoned constructors. So I just wanted to kind of set that stage for you guys and let you kind of finish it up.
Thanks, man. I asked Jason Smith Lewis, I asked these other guys standing behind me to stand up here too for if y'all have detailed questions. I'm going to kind of give a general overview, particularly for North. I think that's the biggest question, honestly. So at North, to give you an idea and a plan to move forward, the North on the main entry, we'll have 7 guys starting tomorrow to do the EFS. That's the finished work you see at the main entry. We'll have 7 guys starting it tomorrow. Come Monday, if not this Saturday, we'll have a total of 14. So that entry, we're looking to have that done, finished, look complete in 16 days. Okay? So I'm kind of talk generality on the outside so everybody can have a view, mental picture of what to expect within the next 21 days. Also on the outside, we're looking to have the concrete drive, the main drive that's there at the main entry. That will be poured out come this Tuesday. To move around the building, we're looking at have a blade, a maintainer show up come Tuesday to start doing our fine grading. That's the cleachy, your base underneath the asphalt, start fine grading it and get ready to start putting down asphalt. Also, security for the exterior of the building. The windows are in, the glass is in, the doors are in. The one area is a clear story on the inside above. We have it boarded up, but we're going to have glass put in probably by the end of next week. So security-wise, the building's secured up, everything's in place. Also, so I'm going to move on the inside. So right now, we're bringing in 8 more painters tomorrow. That'll help ensure that the painting, the classrooms, all that's been painted out. Where, as you saw, the gym was painted out. We like the cafeteria area in that area, so we'll bring them in to start working on that. That should be painted out probably within 10 to 14 days. Progress on that, and our painters have been very good. What has helped our progress is we have brought more tape bed people to come in, which is able to get a lot of production in that area done. Now it's at the stage where we're going to bring in more painters. So you're seeing a big, basically waves of production. And I think that's been proven the last couple of weeks. Also, what we got coming up is we had delivery millwork today. We'll have another truck show up Monday, another truck show up July 1st. That's all millwork. So all the millwork will be here on site. A lot of it's being installed as we speak, come July 1st. And we'll get that in place. We also, so you guys know, we brought in more ceramic tile installers. Come end of day tomorrow, we'll have 16 tile installers, 16 total, 8 on both schools. And that should get us to where Thunderbird, we'll call it Thunderbird, North Campus, that ceramic tile will be complete this coming Tuesday. We talked about building secure. Interior doors, frames, we're actually bringing in 4 more doors, aluminum doors and glass installers for the inside. We'll have 4 more show up Monday, 2 addition to what we already have. The fire sprinkler, we'll talk about because that's life safety on both schools. Fire sprinkler has been tested and passed. We're looking at to get the fire alarm at Thunderbird, start setting it up, have an inspection on it on July 1st of July. That's actually College Hill. North Campus, July 14th for Thunderbird. To kind of give you that idea of how the progress is done just in the last 4 weeks. Yeah, 4 to 6. The North Campus, one time, was probably 3 or 4 months behind. To give a gauge of how much is done just in that time frame, you look at your life safety. You got to have life safety in place. You got to have firework. That's what allows you to use the building. That's what allows you to say, yes, this building's functional. That's what the fire marshal, the city officials look at. So you look at a facility that's 3 or 4 months behind. Now, in reality, it's a week, 2 weeks off from College Hill. That's how much ground, how much progress we have done just in 4 or 5 weeks. And with that being said, we were able to accomplish it because we've actually brought in other crews, other installers. And we're planning on keep doing that because we know that's what it takes to accomplish it. These guys here, every day is monitoring by the square foot what they're doing, by the linear foot, by the yards of concrete. If they're not meeting what we need to accomplish, we are being proactive by calling in other resources that we've had availability to bring in just statewide. If y'all have any detailed questions, like I said, that's just kind of the general overview. That's the things, that's our plan, that's what we've been doing, that's how we're going to accomplish this, especially north. College Hill, it's great shape. I think y'all been there, it looks good, but there are points where you'll see at College Hill, you know, the gym's not painted, Thunderbird is. It's what we do to help offset, knowing both campuses have to be done. So there are other activities help offset. At the end of the day, they'll be finished at the same time.
Board, any more questions?
Hi, Jason. Appreciate the detailed information on the projects. I know there's a lot of things going on. So one of the questions I have is, what are some of your obstacles that you're facing right now? Supplies, staffing, and how does that look like? Do you have a contingency plan, like on supplies? Obviously, you've made a lot of leeway here, right, in the last month or so.
Yeah.
How's that going to continue to what's that going to look like in August, September?
Well, we've been fortunate to a lot of these guys staying on top of the long lead items we knew were going to incur. And a lot of it's been like air conditioning units. Mm-hmm. At one time, we were looking at the North Campus, actually, we were looking at those units not showing up till July. Well, by being proactive in calling other resources and bringing in other personnel to help, we actually got all the units here. To answer your question, marker boards, tack boards, they're looking to show up on the north campus. They're looking to show up end of July.
In July.
Yeah, but the good thing is, we're already putting brackets and stuff in. We'll be prepared, we'll have those done in 4 or 5 days. The other stuff, the other long lead items, we pretty much, we've overcome.
Touched on the coolers.
Yeah, the coolers at one of the schools, the coolers are gonna be showing up a little late, but they'll be installed by the time school starts. Yeah, the walk-in coolers. Manpower wise, it's the industry. It's hard to find good skilled labor, just any occupation. Honestly, it's getting short-handed, education, teachers. It's in our industry too. We're fortunate enough, due to our outreach, due to our size, due being a strong advocate in Dallas, in Austin, we've actually brought in resources out of our other offices. Tape and bed, texture guys, tile setters, so.
Some out of El Paso.
Some out of El Paso.
Some out
So
of
we've been
McAllen.
fortunate enough to where our outreach, we were able to overcome things, but it's still been a challenge.
Sure.
It's there.
Yeah.
And it's the industry across the board. We've been fortunate enough to stay on top of it ahead of time, to be prepared, to look down 4 or 5 weeks down the road, go, okay, if we don't have the appropriate manpower, let's make sure we have other people in place for them to come.
Sure.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate the transparency on that.
Yeah.
For the details on that, for sure. So appreciate you guys doing that.
Yes, sir.
Those were kind of my questions as well. I guess just to follow up on that, so say, West Texas weather, we turn around and it starts raining in the next couple weeks, which would, I'm not going to complain, but are we
I
to
second the motion.
are we to a point that most of the work could continue inside, or
Yes.
would we?
Oh, yeah, the building's dried in.
so-
If it rains, it's not gonna
Okay.
stop anything, And I always say that in West Texas, it usually rains when you're trying to get a parking lot done, or you dig a basement, so hopefully. And we all know in West Texas, and come from a family that farms too, we're definitely not gonna complain about the rain. But to answer your question, yeah, the building's
We
dried
could
in.
kind
It's
of
not
continue on.
affect anything.
We're to that
inside.
point, okay.
Our challenge is get the concrete done on the north, and look at the rate we're going, should have pretty much the concrete drive poured by Tuesday, and get the asphalt. Once we get the base down, we get it oiled. If it rains and that base has oil on it, then it's weathered. Literally, you can just scrape off the water, the rain, and lay your asphalt. So, and we're looking at doing that in the next 3 weeks for the streets and stuff, so.
We really appreciate your hard work. I know some of the board members have mentioned that we're out in the community and they say, I did a great job. And I always say, go by and honk at those guys and give them a
Yeah.
thumbs up. I said thumb, I make sure thumb.
Don't throw rocks.
These guys are here every day, and Saturdays, Sundays, and
Yeah.
they've been monitoring the progress very, very well, so.
So the golden question is, and I know you mentioned already, will it be ready for the new school year?
Yes.
Okay. That's all the community's
I mean,
waiting.
right now, we're not seeing any. Yes. We're not seeing anything, one thing to prevent, if we have materials, all of a sudden surprises, but the things that we were concerned with is they're here,
Right.
and we've had commitment, the marker boards will be here in July.
Okay. I think the staff is excited to go in and
Yeah.
break in their new classroom, so. Really appreciate y'all guys.
Yeah.
You bet.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thank y'all.
I have to ask this question for my teacher friends, and it's probably not even it's not something y'all can even answer, so I'm not sure to go to with this, but maybe back there. So you had mentioned that there is space and there's cabinets and all that, but those elementary teachers, they like to bring in their personal touches to the rooms. Are they going to get, if they want to bring in their chair for centers that they love or whatever it is, little items, are they going to get to, I know they've got it stored in their garages and things like that right now. will they get to bring those little things in?
That is, no, it's easy for me. I mean, this is easy for me. We talked to the principals, and what we did is, we told the principals if it has a valid instructional purpose, and the principal agrees that it's, has a valid instructional purpose, outside of bringing in futons and couches and stuff like that, we're
No, we
not,
don't judge
yeah.
that,
Yeah, but if they have like a rocking chair that they use for a reading center and they teach kindergarten, and they talk to the principal and the principal agrees that she doesn't see an issue with it, they can bring that in. But, I mean, we will draw a hard line on, you know, I call it stuff with fluff, because critters love stuff with fluff. So couches, futons, those big cushiony things, if it's a wooden rocking chair, and it has maybe like a cushion on it, we'll be okay with it. But like the other stuff, we're staying away from that. But really and truly, I mean, the principals are the ones that are gonna go through, and the teacher has to say, this is what I use it for. Principal goes, you know what, it has a valid instructional use. So, no pressure, Sarah, and Jennifer, and Deborah, and Rachel.
They're allowed to bring their thinking chair, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, I mean, we'll be all right with, again, it has to be in good taste.
Okay.
Can you touch a little bit on intermediate? Did we talk about intermediate? Is it?
We're in good shape with the intermediate and junior high. I mean, the intermediate's done, and everything that's bond funded is done. What's left with the intermediate is on us, and that's putting up some whiteboards and taking up some carpet in classrooms, but we're on target with all of that work. So really, the only thing that is bond funded that remains at the intermediate is a transition between the new storm shelter and the existing hallway on the first floor, first hall. That needs to be sheet rocked out, but other than that, I think that's all that remains there.
And that's actually done.
Oh, they did that? They got it done? Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of acoustic stuff that we were trying to do too between the band hall. We had a lot of acoustic rated partitions to try and mitigate the sound that goes from that space into the classrooms as well, just to make it much more functional on that side. I wanted to acknowledge Jeremy Brozo is back there. He's one that's probably been the pivot point for all of the communication between us, Lee Lewis, and even the district. He's on the site probably more than anybody from Park Hill. He gets our project managers and our architects and all that involved so that we can answer the contractors' questions as quick as possible, because at times we can be a holdup and we don't want to be that. So I just wanted to acknowledge Jeremy.
I do have one other question I wrote down here. I apologize, and y'all may have answered this already when we were talking about the ballistic film level 1. What does level 1 grading mean?
9mm.
9 millimeter? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you.
Any other questions I can answer?
Thank you so much, Mr. Baker. And our crews, our moving crews are all on standby, waiting for the green light to begin moving things in. I believe furniture has already arrived, Summit Central. And furniture has arrived for the junior high as well as the intermediate. And all the deliveries were pre-scheduled so that the furniture will be delivered, and it's, turnkey or white glove service where they bring it in, they move it into the rooms, and they set it all up. So what our crews will be doing, we'll be moving in the boxes that the teachers marked to go into the classroom. So they'll be moving those items in, and right now they're helping out with some grounds and some other projects while they're waiting to get the green light to get those items into the campuses. Believe we have begun moving those items into the junior high and intermediate in the areas that are completed, but we still have some construction, as I mentioned, at the junior high, which was a change order for the office area. So, all right. Carl, did I miss anything?
I don't think so, Dr. Sanchez. That's, we all got the bond project covered.
In our end, I want to acknowledge Carl because Carl does for Plainview ISD. He's our key point of communication. If I have questions, I go to Carl. Carl gets with folks from Lee Lewis or Park Hill or Tyner, and he gets us the information back. And so I do appreciate the work that Carl's done in keeping us informed and keeping in contact and working through the change orders and helping out with the fire marshal and inspectors and all the real fun people to work with through the city. So he's done a good job in keeping the work moving forward from our point, and making sure that there's good communication and that nothing happens without us knowing if we hit a water line or, something like that, what the turnaround time is, to be able to communicate with principals so that they're able to make some plans for summer school. So again, appreciate Carl and his work. All right. I did, as a presentation piece, under presentation, I did want Ivan to share one thing with the board. Ivan, can you pull that up? So we do have a Ask PISD function that Ivan did some research and exploration on, and we answer all kinds of questions. Some are interesting, others are pretty easy to answer. And so if it's something that's straightforward, Ivan gives him the information to the link. If it's something campus-specific, he may go to Yesenia or Robin. If it's something district-wide, he'll find me. All right.
So back in May, we, as a district, put out a Facebook post just stating to the community, parents, anybody that had questions, that they had a question to, they didn't know who to ask or what number to call or anything. This is just another resource that we set up to answer those questions specifically. Dr. Richburg, do you mind scrolling down? So here we have a little, at the top we have a paragraph, it's just that states what this forum is for. As you can see, you can add a comment below anything, and our team, me, and if it's a specific thing, a question that I have I'm not sure if we need to answer it or not, I'll ask Dr. Sanchez, but of course, if it's appropriate, we'll answer it. We don't want anything vulgar coming in or anything like that. So all the questions are screened by me and Dr. Sanchez before they are posted on here. And the forum is open to everybody, so you don't have to have an account on the website. You simply scroll to the bottom. There should be like a little comment with a little addition right there. So you just simply write your comment in. Right now, Dr. Richburg is logged into the website, so that's why it says you are commenting as Dr. Richburg. But anybody that doesn't have an account, it says anonymous. So rest assured, that they don't have their personal information. It's open to anybody. They simply write their comment. It's sent over to me. I log in daily, check it to see if we've received any questions, comments, and after that, I look for the answer to get that answered as quick as possible. I don't like approving the comment and then afterwards finding the answer. I try to find the answer first, approve the comment. That way, when the person comes back and checks periodically, if they do, they can see that their question has been posted along with an answer. So, of course, this is free. It's a service offered by Blackboard on our website, so it's not an additional cost that the district had to pay for. So, this is, like I said, it's just another method of establishing that communication with our parents and our community. And it was posted. It is on there, and they can simply go into the community section at the top, and they can find it under there. So. And
we put all the instructions out via Facebook, since most people use Facebook.
Yeah, and there is a on the post that we made. I did put a link that took them straight to this page, so it's not like they have to go back in there and look.
And if somebody posts something on Facebook, we often will put out a statement to address it if it's something that's that we need to address. The screening that Ivan and I do is if somebody goes, why does teacher X hate my kid so much? He hates going to her class. Well, we're not going to post that. I mean, that's just not something we're going to post. If it's a question about, I want to understand what the transfer process is. Okay, we'll give you that information. But if it's something that, you know, is, if it's identifying a staff member, if it's identifying a child, we're not going to put that out there. We will address that. You know, we'll hand that over to, you know, Yesenia or Robin if it's elementary or secondary. We'll contact the principal and go, hey, this was posted on there. We don't know who posted it. It's anonymous, but we just want to make you aware that this information's out there so that way the principal can work through that. But we will, that's the only level of screening we do. If somebody asks us a hard question, you know, like, you know, what's the, why was the transfer deadline this date and not this other date? We'll give them the answer. We'll give them the rationale behind that. Or where can I find this form? We'll give them that information. Or, you know, what if I don't, you know, how much is left of north to be done? I mean, we'll give them that information. But again, anything that's going to identify student or identify staff member, we don't post that out there. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose is to answer questions and give information, not to function as what some social media does. So, if y'all have any questions or suggestions or recommendations, we're wide open to that.
How long have we been doing this?
This was posted back in May.
Okay, and
Yeah.
are you finding value added to this? On the content that you're receiving?
From at the very beginning, when we made the post, there was a little bit of, you know, we started gaining a little bit of momentum with it. After that, like I said, I check it regularly, and just within the past 2 weeks, there hasn't been any more comments added to the forum. So like when it was announced, there was quite a bit of questions. Maybe I would say that maybe the first couple of 2 or 3 weeks, there was quite a bit of questions coming in, and it seemed to have died off, you know, in early beginning of this month. So.
But it's also the
Everybody's
beginning
on
of summer, yeah.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Yeah. Yeah.
So in August, we'll re-announce it in August. We'll put the information back out in August. We'll repost it, so that way everybody knows that it's there. I mean, of course, we always encourage, if you have a question, ask your child's teacher. If it's a question for the campus, ask the principal. And if it's something that they don't know, then, I mean, this is a forum. So there are multiple places you can ask a question. But if you don't have a kid in school and you want to ask a question, well, this is a great place. Because you don't have a direct contact to a teacher or a principal, this is a great place to ask that for that information. So, again, we just wanted to share that with y'all, that's something that we've been working through, and we'll continue to advertise and answer questions.
Thank you, Evan.
Thank you.
Under the business items, under the agenda, the first item we have is consideration and approval, approved dedicated water line easement at Central Elementary. According to the fire code, they would like us to have a fire hydrant that has the quantity of water necessary to, for a elementary campus. So this doesn't cost the district anything, rather it's just more of an easement agreement. And so that's the purpose behind it. So it doesn't cost anything. Instead of having the fire hydrant connection to the building, it's a separate fire hydrant. It's a standalone safety piece, if you will. So with that, on behalf of the administration, I'd just like to recommend consideration to approve the dedicated water line easement for Central Elementary for that fire hydrant.
Board, any questions, comments? I wanna know I'm guessing I know the answer, but every school has its own fire hydrant, correct? Am I mistaken?
What was the question again?
Does every school have its own fire hydrant?
If there's not one, I believe 300 foot, there has to be one within 300 feet, so not necessarily, and this line, we should have let Mike have probably explained this a lot better with Park Hill, but this is to keep anybody from building on this line, but it's tied, it makes a complete circle of the school, and it is tied to the city mains, is what it is. It's a main water line, that's what it is. With fire hydrant on it. Yes, that's the main thing, is for anything ever being built on, is for the
But yes, sir, for safety purposes, there is fire code on the accessibility that the fire department would have to water on any of our facilities or any public buildings.
Okay. Any more questions, board, discussion? Not hearing none, at this time, I'll entertain a motion to consider to approve the dedicated water line easement at Central Elementary.
I move to approve the dedicated water line easement to Central Elementary.
Okay, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
So I have a motion by Board Member Bass and a second by Board Member Rivera. All in favor, we're gonna say aye. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? All right, so the record, we got 2, 4, 5 vote. Thank you.
All right, the next item we have is consideration and approval of the annual Skyward renewal. You can see the cost is $141,090. It's an 11.9% increase from last year. And $14,828 comes from our food service fund. The remainder comes from local funds. And Skyward is our student information system, accounting system. It pretty much is everything. It is our enterprise resource system. And though the price has gone up, it's not advisable at this point in time to try to go through a data conversion for another product that probably has gone up the same. And so I would like to recommend, even with that increase, the annual renewal for Skyward. And again, the tough questions are to Dr. Richburg on this one.
Board? Question, comment?
Go ahead, Amber.
What's their reasoning? I think they went up last year, if I remember.
They've gone up 5 to 7% every
Every
year.
year.
I mean, that's
It's just,
product
yeah.
development. This year, everybody's going up more because they can. I mean, you dump that much federal money into the system and people expand their prices. It's called inflation, and they do it.
Yeah.
And he's right. The hard thing is a data conversion would cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars, as well as probably a number you can't put a dollar amount on time.
Right. And I'm assuming they're probably pretty comparable to other companies that do.
Well, we haven't done a harsh comparison. 4 or 5 years ago, we kind of looked at it, and they're all going to be very similar.
We did a data conversion in Ector County to a company called Tyler Technologies, and they promised everything would work, and it took about 3 years for everything to work, and it was very painful. And
Even has a newer product that's built on a newer database, and we're not even trying to move to it at this point, just because the data conversion process is so difficult and so expensive and time-consuming.
So this $141,090 is with that 11.9% increase? Well,
Yes, ma'am.
as much as we rely on it in the overall budget, I guess that's not, I mean, we rely on that every day,
I mean, we can't do business anymore
Right.
without it. Nobody in any department, not a teacher,
Right.
not even a maintenance guy, custodian, it's the clock in, it's everybody.
It's payroll.
Parents.
when we do home visits, I pull up addresses, phone numbers on the phone. I pull up their grades and attendance, and
Parents can do the same. It's-
yeah, parents can do the same. And when I taught English 1, I did my attendance on my phone. I could pull up the app, and then it has a picture of the kids, and I click if they were there and then hit save. I mean, it's pretty, sometimes it makes you want to pull your hair out, but it is pretty user-friendly once you figure it out, so.
And it's still the biggest, has more districts than any other product in Texas, and by far more students. They've got a lot of big districts.
Mr. Salzar, you had a question?
Asked and answered. Thank you.
Okay. Board, any more? Okay, then at this moment, hearing none, entertain a motion to consider the approval of the annual Skyward renewal.
I'll make a motion to, recommend a motion to approve the Skyward annual $141,000 $90, I think it is, program.
Okay. There a second?
I'll second.
All right. Let the motion reflect that it's renewal. So we got a motion by Board Member Mr. Salazar and second by Board Member Ms. Bass. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. All opposed? 5-0. Thank you.
All right, the next item we have is consideration to approve contract order 50,000 with King Consultant for professional services, and this is asbestos specification writing and monitoring. And so I believe Ms. Dunlap or Carl could, or Charles could address this one. If there are any questions about what this all entails, as you can see, it's multiple campuses, College Hill, Lakeside, Thunderbird, and the auditorium renovation and window replacement.
Well, it is a professional service due to it being asbestos abatement, and you can't bid that. And so they have to do the monitoring while the other companies that we bid to remove the asbestos from the building. So King Consultants are in the monitoring. They also have to write the specifications for the removal of the asbestos because they're licensed in the state of Texas to do that, and we're not qualified to write the specifications. So Charles worked with them, am I correct, to just get the specifications written, much like our architects do, to get ready to go out to bid to vendors that are qualified to perform that type of work in the state of Texas as well. So they write the specs, they actually release the bids come to me, we open them, and then we tabulate and we award with their help. So their specification writing was for us to do the asbestos abatement, and then they come in and do the monitoring as well. Since we had it for the windows at the high school, I approved it up to 50,000 and released those, or 48,000, I believe. And then once I hit that threshold, we have to take the other projects to you for approval, because we're within that commodity, if you will, of over 50,000. And so that's why I'm bringing these three. It's truly a professional service, but it being over 50,000 requires your approval. Did I say that?
Yep. Any questions?
And as the windows come out, they all have asbestos, and so that's what Charles spends his days chasing after the guys to make sure that what windows come out, the new ones go in. But it's all asbestos.
Board, any questions?
Do we have a start time on those projects, or we're still just in the beginning?
I don't know, Charles, you'll have to answer that.
Lakeside is, Lakeside is the one that's kind of they're working at Coronado right now, and so they're gonna be moving over to Lakeside when they're done with Coronado, and that's where this is gonna bump us up over. And then they're gonna move to Thunderbird once it's completed. So that crew, the same crew that's doing Coronado is gonna do Lakeside, and then they'll do Thunderbird. If Thunderbird comes available before Lakeside, they can do that to get it out of the way, so demolition can happen and that project can be completed, and Lakeside will come after that, but it just depends on the timing of how Thunderbird is ready to be demolished.
And there's two projects going on at the high school. There's the windows, but there's also the auditorium. So they're monitoring the tiles are all hot, all those, 1960 tiles on the wall for acoustics. And then also under the flooring, correct?
Right, yes.
And then it was Coronado while they're polishing the floor in the classrooms. The tile was hot, so that's what they're working on.
So it's College Hill still?
Are they done?
College Hill is completed.
Oh, it's completed?
It is completed, yes.
Oh.
Yes.
The asbestos abatement's done, so then they can
Yeah.
demolish
Now they
it.
can demolish it, yes, ma'am.
And that one should be demolished pretty soon. I think the PD was gonna do a drill thing through there and roll around and all of the stuff they do.
We
And
should have taken
then,
pictures of that. They did do that, and there were doors pried apart. They used the jaws of life to open up doors, and doors knocked down, and windows broke out. So they had fun.
they had fun. So now we're gonna knock it down.
Learning's fun.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So,
the final lesson.
yeah. So they should, my understanding is they should be on site tomorrow to start the demolition of College Hill. So they were mobilizing
Oh,
today.
wow. Yeah.
It's either tomorrow or the beginning of next week when they'll start demolishing, but my understanding is tomorrow.
And that's where the playground goes. That's why it's a priority. And the same thing with Thunderbird. That's why it's a priority, those two, because those buildings are where the playgrounds will be. So it's important that they do that and they do it well.
So none of the staff are going over there and running the wrecking ball to get the party started over there?
No, we won't let them do that.
Man.
And all the kids that wanted their tiles from College Hill got their tiles. Manuel was there taking some down, and then we saved the little calf, and we had to hide him because everybody wanted the little calf. So we hid him. I won't tell you where. He's in an undisclosed location, but we'll put him back out at Central. But yeah, right now he's hidden. So
Anybody sees a Elvis Presley poster flying around, I've been told that it belongs to Ms. Thompson and she wants it back. It fell between some lockers at some point. And she really wants it back.
well,
An Elvis Presley poster. There's. Yes.
Does she know which room it was in?
Yes, she would, and yes, if it's found, she would love to have it back.
Carl will go and look for it. If she could tell him what room, he'll have some fun and go and find it.
We might have to make that happen.
Okay, you would make her day for sure.
Time capsules, places,
Yes,
That's funny.
pretty awesome.
yes, she would love to have that back.
That's pretty cool.
All right.
Be perfect timing with this new Elvis movie coming out, right? All right, let's see, board, any more questions or comments? Or entertain a motion to consider the approval of contract over 50,000 with King's Consultants as presented. Do you hear a motion?
I so moved.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion by Ms. Rivera and a second by Mr. Salazar. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say nay. Hear none, 5-0.
The next item we have is consideration and approval for extending the student transportation contract for the 22-23 school year with First Student Transportation Services. Of course, we can enter into a 5-year contract with them, so this is an extension. And it allows us to extend for 4 one-year renewals, so this would be a 1-year renewal. This is the 4th year of the 5 years. This will make this the 3rd extension, if you will. The first one, and then 3 renewals. There is a rate increase. It's modest by standards today. It's 3.5%, and they run a lot of buses, and diesel went up a little more than 3.5%. So for First Student to go up 3.5%, knowing that drivers are more expensive and harder to find, fuel is more expensive. I highly recommend that the board, on behalf of the district, approve the extension with First Student. They have been an excellent partner in our time in working with them. I know prior to me, they were here, and as long as I've been here, I've been nothing but impressed with their customer service. I mean, at the beginning of last year, we had a student that was distressed because of a bus situation, and First Student rerouted a bus and picked up the student in about 10 minutes. And the student was really struggling. He was on a new campus, and we were all out there trying to calm him down, and the bus driver came, and the student got on the bus, and the bus driver was great with the student, and the student went home. And the next day, the bus was routed there, and it was waiting for him, and we didn't have the same incident. So, I mean, personally, I've seen the good work that First Student does, so I highly recommend consideration and approval for extending the contract.
Board, any comments or questions?
I'll just say, I know y'all do an awesome job, and I really honestly expected maybe even a little bit more of an increase with gas and diesel prices. But I would ask, though, what does your staffing look like going into next year finding bus drivers? What does that look like?
Currently, we are short 3 drivers, but we have 3 sub-drivers, so we're even. Right
Okay.
now. But we are actively recruiting. I don't know if anyone has seen the bus out around town.
Yeah.
We've seen it.
Recruiting and training.
Okay. serve on the board and drive the bus at the same time.
I'll say, Lori, we got a few CDO drivers sitting up here, so.
Her few.
So I'm on the call, right?
Used to be a requirement of being a coach. You had to get your CDO.
We really appreciate, and we say this every year, y'all carry our most prized possessions for this district, and we really appreciate the safety that goes all involved into that. And do you go out at 5 in the morning to check if there's ice out there, or who does that? Wow. Or is it earlier?
We're usually there at 5:30 checking for ice.
Wow.
Out driving the roads. Yes, sir.
Okay. Board, any more questions, comments? And you're right, Ms. Bass, 3.5 could have been before the gas went up. But, that's expected, and we understand. So not hearing none, entertain a motion to consider approval for extension of student transportation contract for the year 2022 and 23 with First Student Transportation Services. As presented. Do I hear a motion?
I move to extend the student transportation contract for the 2022-2023 school year with First Student Transportation Services.
Thank you, Ms. Bass. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Got a motion by Ms. Bass and a second by Ms. Salazar. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? 5-0.
All right.
Thank you very much, and we'll continue to see First Student out there. Thank you, Lori, and your staff.
Thank you. Appreciate the partnership.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, next item we have is consideration and approval of contract over 50,000 to install asphalt parking lots and then repair at CMS, EMS, new parking lot install at EMS, and then concrete bus lane EMS and striping. A lot of credit goes to Ms. Dunlap. After the projects were put out, she found a way to save the district quite a bit. And so this proposal would give $119,398 worth of projects to Caprock, and then $166,020, believe, to Thrasher. And the total is $285,418. And again, this, by going with two companies, we saved over going with just one company. And she did the legwork to make this happen and, again, save money for the district. So appreciate her hard work and her diligence in watching district dollars and taxpayer dollars. So I'd like to recommend consideration and approval of contract over 50,000 to install asphalt.
All righty. Board, any questions, comments?
It's always a good thing when we can save money and use two local companies.
Exactly.
She's good at that.
Yeah.
I like
Yes,
that.
thank you very much on that. Staying local is important. Any more questions, comments? Not hearing none, entertain motion to consider and, to approve of contract over 50,000 to install asphalt parking lots.
I'll make a motion to approve the contract over $50,000 for asphalt parking lots.
Thank you. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
All right, this will be interesting. I got a motion by Board Member Salazar and a second by Board Member Salazar. Let the record reflects not the same person. So, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right, all opposed, nay? Nay? 5-0, thank you.
Only the high school thought it was the same person. So, all right. There's a whole story behind that. So, all right, under business items, consensus agenda, there are two items. The first one, of course, are the meeting minutes for May 16th, May 19th, and then special called meeting on June 9th. And then the second is budget amendment number 5, which again isn't new money, it's moving money to cover any accounts that are deficit with dollars from accounts that are not, so that everything balances out, or to move money from one area to another area to have it in the right spot for procurement. So with that, I'll recommend the consensus agenda is presented.
Board, any questions, comments? Not entertain a motion to approve the consistent agenda.
I so move we approve the consensus agenda.
Do I hear a second?
Oh, second.
Thank you. Got a motion by Ms. Rivera and a second by Ms. Bass. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All righty, we stay at that 5-0. Thank you.
And if the board will, just one quick announcement. Mr. Gonzalez, our longtime band director, is retired, and he is moving to Clovis to take care of his aging parents. And, but he'll also be the band director in Clovis, so he'll retire out of Texas and begin serving time there in Clovis as a band director. We're very fortunate that we have Mr. Kelly, who will step in as band director, and Mr. Kelly was a band director at Wayland for some time, and very experienced, and so looking forward to him continuing the winning tradition with our band. And so Mr. Gonzalez doesn't get to take advantage of the lit field for marching and the 18-wheeler and the, I think I saw it back there, the Gator, for moving all of the equipment around. So we appreciate all that Mr. Gonzalez has done for the kids. They call him Mr. G. So we appreciate all of the work that he's done, and we look forward to Mr. Kelly continuing the tradition with our Powerhouse of the Plains. So I just wanted to make that announcement and acknowledge his work. And with that, that concludes the business of the district. There's no request for executive session.
Okay. Again, thank you for everyone attending. So I hereby call this meeting adjourned.
Did you sign that? Yeah.